Touchdown, Alabama, let's get it.
The process, no one can stop this. Hottest show in the streets, I bet you can't top this. Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
Recruiting news and interviews, just sit back and watch this.
The process.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back into the process. Crimson Tide Recruiting. I'm your host, Justin Smith, the Director of Recruiting for Touchdown, Alabama. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on our YouTube channel. First thing I need you to do is hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well as subscribers. Hit that notification bell, be notified when we drop content on our YouTube channel. I'm here to break down the latest in Alabama recruiting news every week on Touchdown, Alabama's YouTube page. So thank you guys so much for locking in with us on today. On today's episode, I do want to preview a couple of upcoming announcements from top Alabama football targets in this 2024 recruiting class. Talk about a top Alabama target who Auburn is recruiting really hard. I will give an update on 4-star wide receiver Perry Thompson out of Foley High School in Foley, Alabama. And I'll also talk about another in-state prospect to know moving forward here in this 2024 recruiting class. But we're going to get today's show started by talking about Casey Poe, a 4-star offensive lineman out of Lindale High School in Texas, who the Crimson Tide are in the mix to land on tomorrow. He's set to announce his commitment decision and choose between Clemson, Texas Tech, LSU, Auburn, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Georgia. Poe is a 4-star offensive lineman, one of the top interior offensive linemen in the country. The Crimson Tide have been recruiting him pretty hard over the last couple of months. You can say it has been quite a bit of time because as soon as he got that offer, Eric Wolford, Alabama's offensive line coach, let it be known that he was a priority for the Crimson Tide. It was a priority for them to get out to Texas to see his high school and visit his high school, visit with his coach, check in with Casey Poe during the spring when he had an opportunity to get out to a lot of different schools across the country. Had an opportunity to get him on campus for an official visit during the month of June. That official visit seemed to have went really well for the 4-star offensive lineman. Before taking that official, I did discuss and talk with Poe about his interest in Alabama and Alabama's interest in him. He said he felt that they were highly interested and would love to have him in Tuscaloosa in the future. Said they were talking pretty much every day. His relationship with Alabama's offensive line coach Eric Wolford was just continuing to grow, and he's a guy who you could make an argument that Alabama appeared to be the leader for quite some time, but schools like Oklahoma, Clemson, Auburn, LSU, Georgia were definitely still in the mix as well. But leading into his decision, the Tide do look to be the leader for the 4-star offensive lineman who's projected to be a guard at the next level, has experience playing tackle. He's a guy with great mobility and get to the second level. Continues to block throughout the play. I think that's the thing that stands out to me the most when watching his film is his ability to just keep his feet moving, always engaging, always doing something, always blocking throughout the play. So this would be a nice get for the Crimson Tide if they were able to pick him up on tomorrow, combining him with a guy like Joseph Ionata, who is an underrated offensive lineman who we should see rating and ranking continue to improve on most recruiting sites as we continue to move forward here in this 2024 recruiting cycle. The second guy I want to talk about is Caleb Odom, a 4-star tight end out of Carrollton High School in Carrollton, Georgia, who will announce his commitment on Saturday. He's down to Alabama, Ole Miss, Miami, Texas A&M, and Florida. Crimson Tide hosted him for an official visit during the month of June. He told me that official visit went really well, had a lot of fun, had an opportunity to build his relationship with a lot of members of Alabama's coaching staff and their players. So the Tide looked as if they were in a good position with him after hosting him for that official visit during the earlier part of June. And the Tide have made an effort to recruit these elite receiving tight ends in the past, have missed on quite a bit, have landed some like Amari No Black. He was a nice get for the Crimson Tide, a couple of recruiting class in terms of being those just athletic receiving tight ends. They picked up a guy like Ty Lockwood during the last recruiting cycle, but Lockwood is more of a complete tight end. He's a guy who has experience blocking. He's a big body tight end, a guy who can put his hand in the ground, can block, can sit in those zones and defenses, which is something he showed at the high school football level. So he was more of a complete tight end. But guys like Caleb Odom, guys like Amari No Black, they have a bit more of a strong stronger receiving tight end type of playing style. And Caleb Odom, that playing style is put on display when you watch his junior film at Carrollton High School. I don't think it is a more impressive guy after the catch at the tight end position. A tight end with some great route running ability. I think he's a guy you could put into the conversation to be the best route running tight end in the 2024 recruiting class. He's a guy that can go up and get the football at 6'5". Great length, great size. He will continue to grow, continue to develop once he's able to put his hand in the ground and block. I think he can be this complete tight end at the next level, but he has shown the ability to be a physical guy to block as a wide receiver. You're going to see him lined up mostly out wide, a wide receiver when you watch his junior film. And sometimes he is called on to block. Those plays are on his huddle film where he is blocking, is engaging with defensive players to block for his teammates. So that is something that he is willing to do by watching his huddle film. You can see that. So Caleb Odom set to announce his commitment on Saturday. The Tide looked to be in a really good position with him. Like I said, we choose between Alabama, Ole Miss, Miami, Texas A&M, and Florida. An in-state offensive lineman I want you guys to keep an eye on moving forward. Here's William Sanders. I talked about him on the process in the past. I think he is easily one of the most underrated offensive linemen in the country. Watch this guy's film, the way he moves, the way he destroys defensive players. His blocks are just impressive. He looks as if he's putting on a highlight show as an offensive lineman, just piling up the pancakes. And he's an exciting guy to watch when we turn on his huddle film. He's set to choose between Alabama, Mississippi State, and LSU sometime later this month. He does not have an official commitment date yet, but he did tell me he is closing in on that decision, looking to announce it before the month of July is over. And the Tide look to be in a very strong position with him at the moment. He is a product of Brookwood High School in Brookwood, Alabama, so he's not far away from Tuscaloosa in terms of where he plays his high school football at now. The Tide offered him after watching him in camp in June. He picked up other SEC offers, those two SEC offers, the two schools that is listed in his top three, along with the Tide, Mississippi State, and LSU. Those schools got him on campus in June as well and put offers on the table. And it's no surprise they put offers on the table. I had an opportunity to actually see him, I think it was like April or May, at Coach Swift's winning edge training in Birmingham, downtown Birmingham, Alabama. And the first thing that caught my eye was he had no body fat. This guy looked to have an impressive frame. When you see a guy like that who's going to be an offensive lineman at the next level, colleges, wherever college he chooses to attend, they're going to have an opportunity to just focus on adding on muscle, adding on strength to a guy like that. So I think William Sanders is an interesting offensive lineman here in this 2024 recruiting class. Most likely will be a guard at the next level, but I think the Tide would really love to get him as part of that 2024 recruiting class. And I think they got a really good chance to do so within the next couple of weeks before this month is over. The last guy I want to talk about today is Perry Thompson, the Crimson Tide's 4-star wide receiver commit out of Foley High School in Foley, Alabama. There has been a lot of talk around Perry Thompson, deservedly so. He's a top recruit, top wide receiver, one of the top wide receivers in the 2024 recruiting class. Has been committed to Alabama for quite some time. Was their first 2024 wide receiver commit, but he is getting a lot of attention from Auburn, and he seems to be loving that attention and just enjoying his recruitment process. He officially visited the Tigers last month. He has already locked in another visit to Auburn. Will return to Auburn later this month to take an unofficial visit during Big Cat weekend, which is a big recruiting weekend for the Auburn Tigers. And a lot of Auburn fans and Auburn media, a lot of people around the Auburn program are feeling optimistic about their chances of flipping on Perry Thompson. I think Auburn does have a chance. They are a legit threat. I think Perry Thompson likes what he is hearing from the Auburn Tigers. When I caught up with Thompson, he told me that he was 100% committed to the Crimson Tide. I believe both of those things can be true. I think he is locked in with Alabama, but I also think he is enjoying the recruitment process. He likes what Auburn is hearing. Auburn is talking about. He likes what he's hearing from the Tigers. But if I'm a recruit personally, looking at the Auburn football program, looking where they stand with their new head coach, I think it all depends on the product on the field. He's talked about why he is excited to possibly play for Alabama in the future, and one of the things he talked about was the Alabama's ability to put the ball in their wide receivers' hands. He's excited about the potential of what he could be inside of Alabama's offense. And if he's thinking that way, I would think he'll think the same thing about Auburn. I want to see what Auburn puts on the field this football season, how their offense looks, how their wide receivers are incorporated into the offense, and how successful it is under Coach Hugh Freeze. Because of course they're going to talk a good game. I always say this when a new coach come in. When you're playing college football, he's going to try to hit the ground running when it comes to the recruiting trail, because you need to build some immediate momentum before you put a product on the field, because the product on the field may not be what you want it to be. It is your first season. You're probably most likely going to go through growing pains, so that is expected out of a program with a new head coach, and Auburn could be no different. So I think Perry is locked in with the Crimson Tide, but I still feel Auburn is a legit threat, and I think they still have some work to do to close it out. I don't think it's over, like they're just locked in to flip them right now. I just think they have some more work to do as a coaching staff, and I think the product on the field will mean something to Perry Thompson moving forward in his recruitment process. So we'll keep our eyes on Thompson and the Auburn Tigers in Alabama as they try to hold on to the 4-star wide receiver at that Foley 707. That was our first time, Touchdown Alabama's first time watching Perry Thompson in action. He plays on both sides of the football for Foley High School. Played a lot of safety at that 707 event, but he was impressive. He was an impressive athlete. I wish he played wide receiver at least one drive so we could see him at wide receiver, but we only was able to see him at safety. And his frame was impressive, moved really good, showed some great ball skills. Were able to catch a couple of interceptions throughout that 707 camp. I am interested and excited to watch him this football season in live game action. You guys been watching the process for a minute now. You know I love live game action. I think nothing beats it in terms of evaluations. Seeing a guy in person doing what they do. I'm excited to see Thompson this upcoming season. But that is what I wanted to talk about on this episode of The Process. As always, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hit that like button before you leave. Hit that subscribe button as well. Subscribers, hit that notification bell. Be notified when we drop content on our YouTube channel. Then head over to touchdownalabama.com. Pick up your subscription today. Then once you're done with that, head over to the Google Play Store if you have an Android device to download the Touchdown Alabama app. The app is also located in the Apple App Store, so get that app so you can get breaking news notifications sent to your mobile device. We are gearing back up our message board, so be sure to stay locked in to get more information on that as well. As always, I am Justin Smith, the Director of Recruiting for Touchdown Alabama.
Process.